Here's one of the most common reasons why beginners in the gym make no progress at all, even after 6 months to a year of just working out like a donkey in the gym. The reason why might not be a surprise to you, because you probably heard this a bunch of times, but you probably don't stick to it and you probably haven't put any thought into it. And it seems like you don't think that this matters as much as it actually does. The reason is you're not eating right. You can train as hard as you want, but if your diet is trash, your results will be too. And I'm not just talking about eating clean, because honestly, anyone can do that. Anyone who has parents that eat healthy can eat clean from a young age. And many people in the world who aren't raised in the West do eat clean, and they eat very clean, but they're not very muscular. So I'm talking about eating enough of the right foods in the right amounts. Now, like I said, you've probably heard of this, but I could bet my life that you're not following it, which is why you're making little to no progress in the gym whatsoever. The fact that noob gains exist, they only exist when your diet is right. They don't exist if you just eat whatever you want and train like a donkey. I mean, to a degree that might happen. Like I said, if you're fat and you have a bunch of stored energy on your body already, then that might happen. You might just eat shit, or you just might not have to eat the right amount, the right quality of food, and you might just gain some muscle, but you're really not going to gain much. So if you really want to get off on a good start in the gym and you don't want to waste this precious time of noob gains that you have, this precious advantage that you have as a beginner in the gym, then I'd suggest focusing on your diet and starting to focus on it right now, as soon as you can. So, you train hard, but you don't give your body the fuel to actually grow muscle. You think you're eating enough, but if you actually track your calories, and I'm not even talking about being autistic, whether in tracking every single, calorie to the dot, you could just dead reckon it as well. You don't have to be that specific. You'd realize you're barely hitting maintenance. You're also probably skipping protein because you had a chicken breast or some chicken nuggets beforehand, and you think that's enough. Well, it's not enough, and you have to eat more. You have to count the amount of proteins you have. Whatever piece of meat you eat, or whatever piece of protein you eat, you have to count it. Protein is very essential, and you have to count roughly how many grams you're eating. If you're off by 2-3 grams, that's fine, but you shouldn't be off by more than 2-3 grams. You should know, at least in the tens, that how much protein are you eating. Are you eating 70 grams, 80 grams, 90 grams? The amount of grams of protein in a piece of meat is going to depend on how heavy it is and the quality of it, but obviously you can roughly track it. So do that. You're probably also overeating junk food, thinking it's bulking when it's just making you fat. You see, bulking works whether you eat junk food or you eat clean food, but the quality of muscle and the quality of your life depends on the type of food you eat. If you eat shit food, your bulk will be shitty. And what I mean by that is your brain will be working in shit ways. It'll just be all messed up. Your hormones will be fucked up. A lot of problems will arise by eating a lot of junk food. It's not going to be good on your digestive system either. It's not going to be good on pretty much any part of your body. It's just going to make the quality of muscle that you grow bad instead of making a good, clean muscle. Whereas if you eat clean food, your digestive system will be better. Your body will heal itself. It'll be better in every way. It'll just keep on getting better. And you won't age anywhere as near as much as when you eat junk food. On top of that, you'll actually build cleaner muscle, and it'll be more enduring. It won't be like short-term muscle that just, fades away after you stop bulking that much, that it just goes away when you stop eating in excess of calories. It'll maintain itself and won't be, the shitty kind of muscle. It'll be the good kind of muscle. So you want to make sure that you eat good food and you eat clean. You don't eat the junk. You don't eat the pizza. If you do eat pizza, you make it at home. You don't eat, all this shit junk food just to bulk up and eating all these donuts and shit. You eat at home, or you eat something outside, but you eat healthy foods. And you know what I mean by healthy foods. I mean not many processed foods and not many foods that have too many preservatives and not McDonald's and shit like that. If you want to eat outside, spend a little bit more money and eat something that has more vegetables, more protein, whole grains, whole proteins, and not, this chicken patty that has been made for the past 6 or 12 months, for the past year. Because believe me, they're doing that in those restaurants you eat at. In McDonald's and shit like that, they're making patties like 6 months beforehand. And bread, they're making that for like 3 years in advance. 2-3 years. So don't think that's healthy. If you eat a burger at home, that's healthy, and if you make it with good, healthy ingredients. But if you eat it outside, it's most likely not healthy, especially in the low-tier junk food restaurants. Muscle doesn't just appear out of thin air, you see. It needs fuel. If you aren't eating right, your workouts are just wasted effort. You can work as hard as you like a donkey in the gym. You can work really hard, but if you don't feel it right, you're just not going to get anywhere. You might get a bit stronger, yeah. If you're a power lifter and you don't care about, gaining muscle, yeah, you might get stronger without eating a lot more food. But that's probably not why you're watching this video. You're probably watching it because you want to gain muscle and you want to be aesthetic and not just a power lifter who's either skinny and can lift a lot or is fat and can lift a lot. So here's how to fix your diet for gains. If you're really serious about making progress and not just fucking around doing random shit, here's what you need to do. You need to track your calories. You can dead reckon a bit. Like if you're eating outside, some restaurants will have it. They show the number of calories in every dish. Even if you go to a good restaurant, if you're in the West, most places, even in the East, most places that are like franchised, they show how many calories they have. And if they don't, you can dead reckon it. You could Google it up. You can do whatever it takes. If you're at home, then you can use an app or a notebook or just whatever, like a Google Sheet or something. And you could just track what you eat. It doesn't have to be specific, like I said. It could just be dead reckoning. Like, it could be dead reckoning to the 10th. You don't have to say 703.5 or 703 calories. It could be 700, 710. 720. It doesn't have to be that specific. That's number one. Number two would be to eat enough protein, and this is something that you should already know. At least 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight, which is the standard. You can eat chicken, eggs, fish, protein shakes. Just get it in. Just eat whatever it takes. You can eat beans as well. Like if you're vegetarian, you could eat beans and lentils and kidney beans, pinto beans, refried beans. You can eat spirulina. That's a very good source of vegetarian protein. And quinoa, nuts, whey protein, casein. If you do drink protein shakes, then make sure that the protein shake is not filled with shit. So make sure it's not like on gold standard or something like that. Make sure it doesn't have any soy and weird shit in there. Number 3, you need to stop under eating carbs and fats. Your body needs energy, oats, rice, potatoes, healthy fats. These all fuel your lifts. Don't believe this myth into thinking that you can just survive off of, eating just meat or just that. Like, maybe after you're done with your bulk, sure, you can eat just meat or just, meat and eggs. Like the carnivore diet that's trending right now. But if you really want to make some good progress, then, you need to eat more carbs. You need to eat more fats. Fats increase testosterone and carbs will give you energy to push harder in the gym. Number 4, be consistent. One good meal won't build muscle, just like one bad meal won't ruin your gains. You have to eat right daily, and you have to do it over and over and over again. You have to do it for 99%, or at least 95% of the time. If you eat junk food like 2 or 3 times a month, it doesn't really matter, but more than that is just don't do it. You have to eat right daily. You have to work out right, over and over again. You can't just do it once and think that's it, or just once a week. So be sure you're doing that. Be sure you're consistent in whatever you do, including your diet and your workouts, and you have to do it simultaneously. So lifting is only half the battle. Eating right is what actually builds the muscle. If you're struggling to gain size, stop blaming your routine and start looking at your plate. And like Rich Piana, the famous bodybuilder, used to say, you have to eat big to get big. And that's exactly what you have to do. If you eat a little bit, you're not going to grow shit. If you want to get big, you have to eat big. So depending on how big you have to get, you have to eat more and more and more and more. I know it might not be the most healthiest to get the biggest, and that's probably not what you should do unless you want to become a professional bodybuilder, but you still have to eat more than your maintenance calories. You can calculate that online. Just type in like calorie calculator on Google and it'll show you. According to your age, weight, height, and body fat percentage, it'll show you how much you should be eating every day, what your maintenance is, and stuff like that. So that'll be all for today. If you found this video helpful, drop a like, subscribe, and comment below what your biggest struggle with diet is. And I'll see you in the next one.